when I started delving into things like, you know, the new X Trident, which we both tried at NAMM, the Helix Stomp XL, all these floor digi processors, you said to me something that blew my mind, which was that now some tours request or will only let you use that kind of thing on stage. They won't let you use an amp.
Yeah, that's definitely a real thing. A lot of, production managers or whoever the powers may be, just want a clean stage, So either that or logistically or how, you may be on a smaller tour or whatever, where they're trying to save money and backline is, and a backline is a very high expense for any tour. So if you're somebody that can just be self-contained, it is money saving, so
Yeah.
it's definitely becoming a thing for sure. And then you have to factor in that, I mean, we all love tube amps. I do. I will always prefer a real amp on
Yeah.
stage. But there is the factor that, a tube amp is like a car to me. It's not when it will, it's not if it'll break down, it's when.
It's weird, yeah.
Like, it's gonna break,
Yeah. Yeah.
for sure.
Well, I mean, yes. And I remember when I first started gigging, I don't know if anyone else has had this experience, but I used to have nightmares. Like when I was asleep, I'd have a dream. And the nightmare that would reoccur would be that a string would break. And then I played a gig where a string broke. And it was a hard tell. I just kept playing. It didn't make any difference at all. And then I had a nightmare that a valve would go. And I played a gig and I did blow a preamp valve. And there was no way around that. What do? You got no valve, you got no amp. Simple as that. So that nightmare reoccurred until I started bringing with me matched sets of valves, biased. And when I was doing some of the bigger tours with Dorje, we would have valves. Because if you don't have spare tubes, I should say. If you don't have spare tubes, you're just asking for a problem. Or a spare amp. You've got to bring a spare head, Everyone needs a bit of spare head now and again. By the way, feel free to swear. And,
Yeah.
I don't think we should care about anything. I'm not.
Okay. Yeah. Fuckity, fuck. Fucking fuck.
It's all good. So yeah, that's interesting though, because what will happen is if the industry is requesting and requiring digi preamps, the artists are going to be pushed into that direction at a pro end. They're going to have to use it because, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and obviously, there's tons of situations where they can't really like completely enforce that upon you, It's one of those things where it's a request, and more than over, it's one of those requests that's it's really like not a request, but is, if that makes any sense,
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is,
it's like a slave being told, they can do something, but they really can't, It's like
but then I can imagine a scenario where two equally good guitar players with the good look, the good playing, the great friendly vibe, hardworking. One of them wants full stack Marshall JCM 800, and one of them is just going to use a Helix.
Yeah,
the Helix guy is going to get the gig.
Yeah, I mean that for sure happens. I mean, I think now, the past 2 or 3 years I spent touring in Europe pretty heavily, and the backline amps usually for festival gigs are complete shit. It's
Which
usually
Fender combo do you normally get?
yeah, exactly. Which Fender combo did you get? It's, either a twin or some fucked up DeVille that needs new caps and filters. Um, you know, or it's a twin, which I hate. Fucking hate the twin reverb. I
Yeah.
hate it. It's great if you just want to play clean, but I think that's one of the worst like pedal amps. That amp takes pedals complete shit.
I mean, to stand up for the Fender Twin, I once owned a Fender Twin
Oh,
back
we
in the
all
day.
have.
Yeah, yeah. But wait, I I used to gig venues before a venue ever had a lift, an elevator, because I was born in '75. My early gigging days were in the '90s, and I remember finishing a gig with my Fender Twin. At the top of the stairs, I drop my Twin all the way down an entire flight of stairs, and I'm like, that's I just killed an amp. And I got to the bottom of the stairs, little tear in my eye, and I pick it up, and it just looks normal. I put it in the van, get home, and I'll plug it in, and it's completely fine. Nothing has happened to this Fender Twin. I just couldn't believe it. I mean,
Yeah, they're definitely built like tanks for sure.
yeah,
Which
probably
is,
operate.
yeah, that's why they're, the king of the backline amps because they just never break.
It used to be the PV Bandit. That was my favorite backline type thing. They were
I
everywhere.
mean, yeah, dude. Honestly, I could totally. I feel like the one of the most slept on amps ever is the PV Classic 30 or Classic 50s.
Man, they were good amps. They were really the PV Delta
Bro,
Blues, all that stuff, man.
dude, the Classic 30 and Classic 50s or Classic 40s, whatever they were, the bigger version of the
Yeah,
30, the overdrive channels on those amps are like fucking amazing.
yeah,
If I
yeah,
if I could have those for backline, like that'd be great. But
yeah,
it's never gonna happen. It's gonna be a twin or a DeVille.
yeah. Well, that's it. And if you're not a Twin or a DeVille player, and you are faced with, well, you're going to use those and a pedal board, or you're going to bring, the new Helix Stadium, or you're going to bring a new X Amp Academy Stomp, or you're going to bring, a Kemper, then you're just going to do that, aren't you? I mean,
Yeah, honestly though, man, over the past 7 months, I think for me, what's been this like I'm really late to this, I'm sure, but the biggest thing for me has been like slaving the power section of an amp to the Helix, if I'm even
oh
saying
yeah,
that right. I did this artist gig with this kind of new guy on the block. His name is October London. Um, he's like an R&B type of guy, pretty big artist. I did a one-off show with him in I think March or May, something like that.
yeah,
And they had two DeVilles, and I slaved the power section of those to the Helix and went stereo, and just you just turn off your IRs because you have like real guitar speakers, and it
yeah.
fucking sounded amazing.
So you hadn't done that before?
I've never done that before because I'm completely an idiot, I guess. It
Wow.
sounded so freaking good. It was
Well, because
amazing.
yeah, I mean, obviously, the more you can remove from the imaginary rig, the less imaginary it becomes, and the better it will sound.